All right, well, let's get into it. Speaking of being missed, will the Packers fans wind up missing Aaron Rodgers? Yes, there's talk of that. We're going to bring in Rob G. Rob G, give us the breakdown of what the reporting is out there about Aaron Rodgers.
Well, guys, this has been percolating now for going on about 72 hours. But earlier this morning, ESPN's Adam Schefter really set the internet ablaze when he said, not only are the Packers going to explore the idea of trading Aaron Rodgers for salary cap purposes and also because Jordan Love's right there waiting in the wings, but more specifically, once they do consider this offseason, it's going to be to an AFC team. They will not be trading him to the NFC. So if you are a Jets, Colts, Raiders, Texans, whoever fan, you're licking your lips right now at 7 p.m. Eastern.
It's interesting because if they are willing to trade Rodgers and you get the best offer from an NFC team, I'm taking it. I get not trading him in the division, but I'm not sure I'd be so, like adamant about not trading him to the NFC. But be that as it may, look, I think Washington, Rob, if he's traded, I think that's a team. They got some good young receivers. They got Terry McLaurin. The defense is solid. I think Ron Rivera's a good coach. That's a place. And they're in a division now where you got Dallas, Philadelphia, and the Giants are at least on the rise. I mean, those are three strong teams, obviously three playoff teams this year. So they've got to find a way to compete. So that would be a team in the NFC that I think should look at him. And New Orleans, too. Now, I don't think they can do it financially, but, I mean, they got Chris Olave. They got Alvin Kamara. The defense was top 5 this year. Like, that's a team as well that if he went there, their fortunes could rise. But, look, if they're going to talk about the AFC, Rob, then I think he should be the Raiders' top choice right now. Like, that's the guy. If I'm the Raiders, look, they cut Derek Carr essentially. So they have to find a replacement. Jarrett Stidham ain't the one. All right, Jarrett Stidham career numbers, 6 touchdowns, 7 picks. That what you want? He had 3 picks in his 2 starts this year after they cut Carr. And I think, Rob, even though Devontae Adams is a good soldier, has said all the right things, and, like he said, wanted to be with the Raiders regardless of his friendship with Derek Carr, I still do think you want to bring in a quarterback, ideally, that is going to get Devontae Adams excited. And obviously, Aaron Rodgers would do that. You got Darren Waller, assuming you don't put him in the trade, and I would do everything I could not to put him in the trade. They got a nice receiving core. If you bring back Josh Jacobs, who was first-team All-Pro this year, you got a nice running game. And the defense obviously needs work. But I think in Max Crosby and Chandler Jones, like, you have some pieces there where you would think, okay, we can get better on that end of the ball. So I think, Rob, the Raiders, if he's traded, I think the Raiders is a good landing spot. And if I'm them, I mean, who else? Brady, look, Brady, I've said he had a better year, I think, than Rodgers, but Rodgers is younger. I think he has a chance to probably play better than he did this year. I wouldn't say MVP level, but better. So that's the guy and the team that I think should be really looking at Rodgers, Rob.
I think it's all smoke and mirrors. I don't think he's going anywhere. I don't believe that. I really don't. I know that's the conversation, but I told you before, it's either Green Bay or retirement. I'd be surprised if he's wearing another team's uniform. I don't see the Raiders because I think the Josh McDaniels Brady thing, like it's incestual.
So you think they'll go after Brady?
I just think because of their relationship and because of what they've done and all that, I just think that that's probably more like it, where they'll convince themselves that Brady knows McDaniels' offense and they're just trying to go and sneak in a championship. They don't care about 2 years from now, 3 years from now. And I think like I said, I don't believe he's going to be traded anywhere. But if it was in the AFC, and I understand not wanting to trade people. They didn't trade Green Bay, didn't trade Brett Favre to Minnesota. If you remember, Minnesota wanted to offer him a better package, and they didn't take it. He went to the Jets, and that's where, if you're going to say he's
now that's
being
their
traded,
division. I get Minnesota. I mean, that's right.
but still was a better package. You still could have said, but they knew that Brett Favre.
I
could
wouldn't
still
trade
play.
him in the division for a better package.
Yeah,
I would trade him in the conference for a better package. Here's the thing: I'm not dismissing your notion that he may retire rather than be traded, but when he was I don't think it was the last time. I think it was last week when he was on the Pat McAfee show, or maybe 2 weeks ago. And he was talking about, how he could, I think it was last week because we discussed it, how he thinks he could play at an MVP level in the right situation. And he said himself that whether or not is that Green Bay or somewhere else, I don't know. Like he put it out there that the right situation might be with another team. So that's what, he could come out and say, I'm not playing anywhere but Green Bay. Now, I get it. If he's traded to a bad place, a bad situation, maybe he would retire. But if he really wants to play, and obviously he's getting a ton of money, he might play one more year, even if it's a bad situation. But that to me, Rob, opened the door on his end to accepting a trade.
I just think it was a conversation. I don't think that at that point, he didn't know what he wanted to do, period, for him to make some sort of proclamation. I think he said this before in the past about being a Green Bay Packer and how important it was to him. That's what I'm basing my conversation
but why
on.
then last week didn't he say that? Why did he say
because
the
I
right
just think
situation
he
might
didn't
be
know
somewhere
where
else?
he is or his head, and he's got to figure. I don't think you want to paint yourself in the corner when you don't.
Maybe
have
he was
to.
on some ayahuasca or something like that.
Yeah, I have no idea. That would be all a guess.
Do you think it means something in these days if he retired as a Packer?
No, but I think that's a personal thing. I just think that's him.
Right. Yeah.
Like
I
Derek
don't
Jeter
think it's as big of a
didn't want to
deal
play
anymore.
anywhere else. He wore the Yankee uniform for 20 years. Could he have still played? Sure, he could have. He could have gone to another team. Some players are like that, and they just don't want to do it. And we could go way back. Jackie Robinson, go look at his history. He was traded to the New York Giants and quit, retired. He didn't want to wear anybody else's uniform.
That was how long ago? I mean,
No, but
back then it was a lot different. You didn't see
but I'm
dudes
giving you the
bouncing
point
like they
that
do
there
now.
are no, but I'm saying there's people like that who don't want to wear another uniform. That's all. It's not everybody.
I mean, Jeter was 40. He wasn't playing up to his usual standards. He had been hurt the year before.
What did he bat that his last year? He didn't bat 210.
256.
Right.
For a 310 career hitter.
Right, but he still could have played like DH. He could have gone to
Florida.
But
Still, I'm not saying, okay, that's fine. All right,
my
we're going to
point
throw it
is
out
that
to
he
you guys.
didn't want to play on any other uniform. That's all. There are players like that.